Activation code required. Access granted. Warning. Evacuation sequence activated.
We're back. Welcome to the bunker.
Good evening. Welcome to the S-4 Bunker, coming to you live right here in the very, very crazy Cascade Mountains of Concrete, Washington. Where you go missing for just, random shit. But hey, I was talking to someone the other day that if all the missing and dead people in the woods rose up at once, we would be overwhelmed. Wait, seriously, I mean, we got Patty Krieger, we got, the list goes on. So real quick, I do want to do for locals that are listening, if you haven't heard yet, we do have a missing girl, Kayla Stanridge. She has really hot pink hair. She's 25, weighs about 100 pounds. Was last seen with blue jeans and a black top, blue eyes. I don't see a height on her. And she's been missing since the 21st. If you see her, call the sheriff. 911.
Yeah, her picture's in almost every group in this area.
Yeah.
Within Skagit County,
there's posters.
County, and Snohomish. So.
And I'm going to stop at that because, Search and Rescue, I believe, is actually active on it right now because they have some updated information and evidence. So we'll stop at that, but be on the lookout for it. So tonight we are talking the Skinwalker Ranch, and so I have some questions. Because $22 million was actually given by Harry Reid from Congress to
investigate.
No, it was to Bigelow Industries. If the government's giving our taxpayer money to a private industry to investigate a so-called haunted, heavy cryptid, heavy UFO area, how come we don't get to see anything? And how come I can't go walking up into it? I own part of it if my taxpayer money went into it.
So what's in Area 51, Eric?
Taxpayer money.
Lots of yeah, but
how many funds of taxpayer money goes into places we don't know?
Okay, but that's a military facility.
Yes,
Skinwalker Ranch is not.
But it's a military operation.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. But
no.
it's just
it's privatized military operation.
Right now it's Brandon Fool that owns it.
No, it's not.
It is.
It's the X-Men.
Yeah,
you know what Brandon Fugel owns? Adamantium real estate.
Right.
Adamantium. What are Wolverine's claws made out of?
Oh, good God.
It's owned by the X-Men.
All right.
He is
you
just
know
a
what?
front.
I gotta say, that would make so much more sense if Skinwalker Ranch was actually Xavier's house.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, just gifted children.
What?
That are
Okay,
really skinny.
what? But what?
Well, but the
Spit it out.
don't have anything to do with adamantium beyond the fact that one of them has it. That was put on his bones by the federal government.
And now, look, the federal government.
And that's where his claws were put on him.
It was Stryker and Stryker Industries. Now it's Bigelow and Bigelow Industries.
Not anymore.
I know.
I know a couple of gigolos. I've never really met a bigelow. What?
How the fuck do you
There are
know
no
a gigolo?
gigolos.
I love you, Cole.
Was that at the brothel here in Concrete?
Bigelow.
Yeah.
Bigelow gigolo.
Ladies and
have
gentlemen,
to
I
be.
do have to introduce our son John is here because he came up with the topic. So I told him, well, if you
Yeah.
come up
Talking
with a
about
topic
it.
like that, you got to talk about it.
Yes.
So-
I'm here.
Are you, though?
I might. I'm not fully here mentally, but
Are you ever?
Well, none of us are, so you're in good company.
You're definitely your father's son.
yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Anyways.
So getting a timeline going, the Utes, the Ute tribe actually was around that area hundreds, if not thousands of years prior.
100,000 years prior?
Hundreds.
Okay.
not.
I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you said 100,000
No,
years,
no,
and
no,
I'm
no.
like, they were dinosaurs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, it's funny you mentioned the dinosaurs because, oh God, who was it? I think it was Bigelow that was talking about what they called the dino beaver.
Dino beaver?
There's a dino beaver?
It's a creature that he claimed he saw.
I think I saw one of those at the concrete brothel.
Yeah, probably.
Jeez.
That was
There
a
are a
Skinwalker.
few dinosaurs that would have beaver-like
Maybe it came
structures.
through a time portal. It
Friend.
came,
I see a dinosaur as a
before we
giant beaver. That would be the most terrifying damn dinosaur ever. Those
It's
teeth
just-
coming at you with a giant tail that could just swap you.
You just smack you
well,
around.
I was, one of my questions for tonight too was why is it called Skinwalker Ranch when everything current they never talked about Skinwalkers really?
Well, because that's what the Ute people
It goes back to the Utes.
had
That's
said that was roaming on the ranch.
it was cursed land.
Is it was
yeah.
cursed land because of Skinwalker. Well, not Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker Ridge was
Right,
cursed.
right.
And it happens to butt up to Skinwalker Ranch,
Mm-hmm.
but it isn't actually on the ranch.
So a few of them travel over.
Well, of course they travel over. They fall off the ridge,
Yeah.
and they're Skinwalkers.
My
They
re-
don't fly.
My
Right.
research, my research looking into the actual Skinwalkers themselves, of course, I went across Skinwalker Ranch. It's on the History Channel site, and it was said that the name of the property was because they saw a Skinwalker. That's where the nickname came from.
Yes.
Yes.
They'd seen what they thought to be a Skinwalker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is...
And it wasn't because there was all this other...
And it was the family, the farm hands, and a maid, I believe.
yes, and
Yeah.
they said that it
Sherns.
took...
Was it the
Sherman's
wolf they
family.
encountered?
No, it was a dog. It was a canine, but it was a dog.
I thought it was a gray wolf.
And it was
It was a
many
wolf.
different types of dogs.
Yeah, but they said that it, changed so that it would be from one type of giant dog to, a giant wolf-looking thing to a
Okay.
giant... So they named it a Skinwalker because, obviously, it was changing its appearance.
It was a shapeshifter.
Yes,
The shape-
shape-shifting.
And they shot it 6 times, and
It
just
still didn't
kept
do.
on attacking the.
It just kind of laughed at him and kind of wandered away.
Yeah,
Also killed one of their cows.
but that was the reports I saw. It was a giant wolf that stood 6 feet high.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
was gray hair and blue eyes.
Yeah,
That's what I heard.
Yep.
Okay, now, what I want to know, though, is... Okay, so the original family that owned this ranch...
That was the Myers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, so they owned it from the 1930s.
1930s to 90s. They owned it for 60 years, and they never saw a damn thing. And according
No.
to the brother, Garth Myers, who is still alive, he told Bigelow that his family for 60 years never had any encounters, and Bigelow told him, "You're you're a fucking liar. I know. Why are you lying?" And he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Okay, but here is the part that makes me believe differently.
Okay.
Okay, so when I believe it was the Martins family, was it the Martins
The Sherman family. is
Sherman
who
family,
bought it from
excuse
the
me, I'm sorry.
From the mine.
When the Sherman family bought the house, okay, there was a clause
Not to dig.
that in order to dig on their property,
They had to ask
they had
permission.
to have the permission from the previous owners.
Right.
That was the clause that was in their deed.
Well, so you know why? Because and there's several reasons, several theories why. One of them, however, is because of mineral rights. So anyone,
That's what I was gonna say. It's money.
anytime you dig or excavate or whatever on property, I mean, even on
Right,
my
because
own
they
property,
sold the land, but not the mineral rights.
right, exactly,
to the land.
Now, there's
Yeah.
another theory, however, that there is radioactive dust in the soil from when we were doing nuclear testing in Nevada, which actually expanded over into Utah.
Now,
Which
there
is
was
the theory.
also another theory that came out, and it was that they were on actual native land, and it
Right.
was a native burial ground, and they didn't want them to
They
dig
didn't
it
want-
up
and
because
that-
they didn't want to
that
deal
was my other
with
one,
the
is that, yeah, they didn't
legislation
want
of
anything
having
disturbed.
it be native land and
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Absolutely. And the other one was they didn't want to disturb the spirits that are haunting the land. And oh my God, they might wake them up.
Now, when this Sherman family
Bought the place?
bought the place, they said when they had first walked onto the property right after they'd bought it,
Right.
that when they walked into the main house, that it was completely chained and that there were bars and screws holding in all the windows. So that it
And-
was fortified, like they were afraid that something was either coming in or trying to get out.
So Garth Myers explained that it was never fortified. So I mean, you're hearing conflicting stories. Garth Myers,
Right.
is the brother of the
The
prior owner,
the beginning owner.
Right.
Yes.
and he says yes, and he was a scientific in the scientific field. Garth was, and he did say, you know, it is possible that there were experiences and they wouldn't tell him because he was a skeptic. So, is there any question? He doesn't know, but to his knowledge, nothing ever happened in the 60 years that they owned it. As far as chains and the locks and all that, because he addressed that as well. But he tried to basically shut down all the stories that were told by and about the Sherman family.
Yes, but at the same point, okay, and I'm going to throw out the possibility here of all of this being bullshit, okay? Now, the Sherman family was a farming family. They were
Yes.
ranchers.
They raised
cattle.
well, they were known for breeding livestock and actually breeding prized
Right.
livestock.
Breeding and raising cattle.
Yeah.
Okay? Well, think about the time period that they bought this ranch. Okay? That was during the beginning of the...
In
When
the
the-
1990s.
Yes. When cattle prices went way down and there was a lot of big industry coming into
Right.
all of that. So, if you are a struggling family that just bought a ranch and the main source of your income is now half of what it used to be, okay? Just throwing that out there,
Okay.
okay? Not saying that that's what happened here, but how do you make more income?
So, they sold, well, they only lived there for 2 years.
Yes, but you make
And they
your
sold
profit.
it. They didn't make a profit off anything. They sold it for $200,000. They lost half their money when they sold to Bigelow, which that kind of pisses me off because you know what? You're looking at a guy that's a billionaire, and he's not even going to pay you what it's worth.
Yeah, that's a little.
I would have said no. You know what? You're going to give me $1 million, or you're not going to get it because you know damn well Bigelow wanted it enough. He would have paid him $1 million for that.
Yeah.
But no, they actually lost half the money that they originally paid into it. They didn't ask for any kind of book. They didn't ask for any rights. In fact, they lost most of their livestock to cattle mutilations on the property. That were actually a typical, what we know of as a cattle mutilation. They had rectum cores, where their asshole was literally cored out by a laser.
But if you are another farm nearby, okay, and these guys move in, and they have better livestock than you do.
But they were losing their livestock to cattle mutilations as well.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it sounds a little funky.
Oh, no,
to me.
I get it. You know, devil's advocate, you have to look at all sides anyway. But they never asked for anything. They never... in fact, they were offered more money than Bigelow offered them. They could have made more. But...
They chose not to.
They chose to go with Bigelow because Bigelow wanted to proceed with research on the property. And that's why they sold to Bigelow. So it was the Sherman family, 1990, I want to say 1996 is when they sold to Bigelow.
Yes.
They lived there from 94 to 96. Bigelow came in 96 and started the NIDS team. NIDS. I can't remember what NIDS stands for. But what was...
Nerds in distress.
And we'll get to some of the signs that happened with the Sherman family here in a little bit. What intrigued me was on Bigelow's team was Jacques Vallée. You know, have you ever heard of Jacques Vallée?
I knew.
He was very much... When it came to the UFO field, he wrote a lot of books.
National Institute for Discovery Science.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Now, Jacques Vallée is kind of along the lines of Eric von Daniken and oh god damn it, I'm trying to remember the other one's name. He wrote the Earth Chronicles.
Oh yeah.
But he's that kind of a caliber of a researcher and writer. But he was a lot more into the UFO cults. He was more into the Zecharia Sitchin. There we go. So Zecharia Sitchin was one of the original ancient alien theorists. Don't even think of the TV show. He was around doing Sumerian, and there's a lot of skepticism with him too, whether he translated it right. And, you know, there's crap in this field all over the place. But Jacques Vallée is a pretty high category researcher and writer. But he came out and basically said, I don't think Bigelow really had a whole lot of evidence. I don't really think a lot was really found. And I'm out, pretty much. Bigelow didn't... So there's ASEP and ATIP. You all know... Go ahead.
It wasn't NIDS. It was NIDSci.
Okay.
So National Institute for Discovery Science.
Right.
Operated from 1995 to 2004. So he shut that down.
He shut it down because he didn't find what he wanted to.
But before he sold.
Right. Right.
Like a lot of years before he sold.
But here's the thing.
Sold.
They stopped investigating. They only investigated for, I think, 4 years.
Did they?
Yeah. Supposedly. That's
the thing.
That's what came out.
2004 to 2016, he owned that place.
Actually,
years.
96
20
to
years.
2016.
Yeah.
But the company, or the scientific operations company, shut down in 2004, which means from 2004 to 2016, he didn't have to report anything he found to anyone.
No,
Yeah.
but that's also when Harry Reid and, oh God, what was the other one? So it started with Latatsky. Latatsky came from the Pentagon. He read the book and it intrigued him. So he came in and talked to Bigelow about getting military and government into it, and that sparked Harry Reid's interest. He brought $22 million from black budgets into investment of investigation and whatever the hell else they were doing.
Yes, but then in 2016, it was sold to Brandon Frugal of Adamantium Real Estate LLC.
Yeah.
But do you know why? Rick, did you figure out why?
Like, who, me?
Yeah, why they bought
No.
it?
Well,
No,
I
Brandon
was only
Frugal?
researching the origins. That's what I was
Oh,
doing.
okay.
So, no, I haven't done any research on the Skinwalker Ranch itself.
No,
so.
we're gonna back up. We're just going over the chronology of
Okay.
So,
of
in
the ranch
2016, Bigelow sold Skinwalker Ranch to Adamantium Real Estate LLC. After
Yep.
this purchase, roads leading to the ranch were blocked, the perimeter was guarded by cameras and barbed wire, and signs were posted that aimed to prevent people from approaching the ranch. Adamantium Real Estate, a Delaware limited liability company based in Salt Lake City, Utah, filed a U.S. trademark application for the service mark Skinwalker Ranch on February 15, 2017, and was approved and registered on April 14, 2020, with the mark application to providing recreational facilities, entertainment services, namely creation, development, production, and distribution of multimedia content, internet content, motion pictures, and television shows. An additional trademark filing to expand use on cups and mugs, shirts and short sleeve shirts, sports caps, and hats was filed by them on June 21st, 2021, and was approved and registered on July 12th, 2020. That place is about to become a fucking theme park.
It is a money grab. That is all it is.
So,
Absolutely.
in my opinion,
Yeah,
if
boy,
there
yeah.
was anything on that ranch, Bigelow found it and took it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yep, so the only thing left now is the nostalgia
Not
of
true.
it being Skinwalker Ranch.
Not true. As of 2022, they now have cups, mugs, shirts, and short sleeve shirts, and sports caps, and hats.
And bumper stickers.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, they didn't file for that.
And,
No.
For them.
and Linda Moulton Howe is still wandering around out there trying to find something.
She's probably lost.
Coast to coast. I'm
She got
surprised
lost.
she didn't come up in any of this already. That woman was always involved in Skinwalker Ranch, it seemed
I never,
like.
you know
That
what?
woman
Her-
is
her name
involved
never
in
came up in
anything
any
that
of the
they say,
videos I
hey, there
watched.
could be some paranormal something.
Oh my god!
That was her bailiwick, though. She really, really loved Skinwalker Ranch. She was always coming in reports, hour-long reports.
Oh my gosh.
I've never had-
Sleep-inducing reports.
I've never had
Skinwalker
an
Ranch
interest
and the
in it.
Majestic 12. That's like her entire life.
Yeah,
Ugh.
yeah, and it's never been a thing for me. I've never.
Yeah, did you guys see that pretty little document that she printed off for the Majestic 12?
And said that this was a real document.
Oh god!
This is the best document we have on Majestic 12.
That's because she just printed it.
It was still warm. The paper was probably still warm.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, weird.
Fresh off the print.
Yeah.
Right.
So some of the stuff, the Sherman family, I think it was within the first 48 hours that they moved in, is when they looked out and they saw this big wolf, dog, whichever story you look
Yeah,
at.
it was the first day that
Right,
they
right,
moved
right.
in.
Yeah.
It was the first sighting.
And it walked right up to him
Like it was tamed.
like it was tame.
They were saying that it was like someone domesticated it, but it looked like a wolf.
And I didn't hear anything about it shifting. That part of it,
Well, that happened later on.
did it?
It didn't happen at that point.
Okay, this is when it first came up. And then it went after a calf of theirs.
Yeah, that was too close to the fence.
Yep. And he shot it twice, I want to say, or 3 times with a .357 Magnum.
No, first I think they
Oh, they
just
hit it.
They hit it with
Yep.
something.
Yep.
And then the father told his son to go grab his
It was
gun,
.357.
and then he started shooting at it after it started to.
And it didn't even flinch. They saw
Yeah.
flesh coming off it from the bullets, but it didn't even, it just kind of sneered at him. And he told his son, go back in the house, get my .30-06.
Yeah.
And he shot it like 2 or 3 more times.
And-
Six shots in total.
Yeah, and it just kind of walked away in the
Yeah,
woods.
it left.
And then they followed its tracks
Yeah.
for, I think it was a mile.
Yeah.
And
In the
then it
woods.
just suddenly disappeared.
Yeah, the tracks.
The tracks just disappeared in the snow.
Yeah.
Like it had been picked up. So that was the first thing that happened, and that was a 6 foot tall wolf.
Yeah.
Because he was 6 foot tall. Actually, it's about a 4 foot tall. Because he was 6 foot tall, the wolf stood up to his chest. That's a big animal.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
Then they started seeing craft in the sky. It looked like a motorhome. And at one point, they saw a 6 foot creature that was looking out, watching them. They saw orange orbs in the sky, blue orbs in the sky.
Yeah.
They had cattle mutilations, strange creatures.
They also had a cattle that I think it was teleported into the
back of the trailer.
Yeah, and was somehow there, even though it couldn't fit through the door.
Well, okay, see, that can't make national news.
Huh.
They can't allow that to make national news.
What part?
The cow.
Yeah.
They couldn't get the fucking Philadelphia experiment right, but aliens were able to get a cow into the trailer?
Right?
Come on. Like, they can't face that kind of...
No.
Like,
Yeah.
Okay,
No
you know,
drudgery?
and again, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here for a second. Okay, so if we go on the assumption that Kenneth and Edith Myers, the original owners, had no weird sightings, okay,
Yeah.
and then we go on the assumption that the Shermans did see all this stuff,
Right.
and then Bigelow Industries had no weird sightings, okay.
Oh, they did. They
Wait.
saw the craft.
So,
And they described, what they described too was like on a hillside. It was an orange, almost like a portal, where they could see a blue sky within the middle of the portal.
And then...
Like it was I don't know, a whole other dimensional.
and like
dimensional
lights
doorway.
coming out of it.
Yeah.
but
So they saw weird shit too.
Yeah.
then...
But not as much.
What if it was just the Shermans? Like, seriously, okay, so we talk about, like, attachments, and we talk about all this stuff all the time.
Right.
So, what if it wasn't actually Skinwalker Ranch that was
Maybe they brought it.
haunted by these things or whatever?
It was the Sherman
Maybe
family.
it was the Sherman family that was.
Well, because they moved.
Now, when they moved, were
Right.
they still having weird shit happen?
I don't think so. I really don't, because we would have heard about it.
Yeah.
They would have said, "Hey, it's still happening here in New Mexico or wherever they moved to." You know, I would think.
Yeah.
But see, they just kind of fall off of the face of the earth after they
Pretty
sell
much,
it to
'cause they didn't
Bigelow.
want anything to do with it.
Eh? So, how do we know that they didn't still see everything and hear everything?
Matter of fact,
you know,
if I remember right, they didn't even talk to Bigelow. When they made Skinwalker Ranch book, they didn't interview the original family. They just wrote a bunch of bullshit that they heard the family had said. It wasn't even factual.
Yeah.
right?
So, I mean, I suggest you can go buy the book if you want, but I like factual books. I don't like a bunch of bullshit that's said about somebody that.
Well, when you
happened
get it
to
in
them.
third, fourth, and fifth person
Right.
views, I mean, it's just not.
But then
It's
you
no
go out
longer
and
liable.
interview them. You
It's-
don't just sit there and say they said they saw blah blah blah.
They told their neighbor this guy that told this
Right.
guy that told the town sheriff that he saw.
Now what's-
okay,
What's interesting is the neighbors of the Shermans didn't believe the Shermans.
okay.
But at the same time, they complained about cattle mutilations and things happening to them.
Yeah, but did that happen before the Shermans moved in, or during the time period that the
They were
Shermans
only
lived
there
there?
for 2 years, so I would imagine before and after.
And did they ever have anything like stare at them or come up to their house?
Not that I saw reported.
See, because
They-
I
they're-
would be pissed too if I'd lived this perfectly happy little farm rancher life, and then all of a sudden these new guys move in next door, and now my cows are getting mutilated.
Yeah.
I'd immediately be like, hey, these assholes next door are mutilating my fucking cows.
What are they doing to them?
Right?
And they interviewed. Okay, so they interviewed Brandon Fugel and his team. And Brandon Fugel even said he was excited about the research and the things they have found. Although they didn't find a whole lot, but his head of security was on this interview as well, and the head of security hadn't seen any giant portal lights in the side of the mountain, or hadn't seen any kind of creatures. Or I'm trying to remember what he said he did see. He did have, I think, 1 or 2 encounters of strange shit. They did see the orbs, they did see the craft, and that's about all they saw.
Okay, so this is in Utah, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I think southern Utah?
Central, I want to say. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, getting back to the Ute tribe, they actually worshipped a wolf god named Sinalf. I know I'm butchering that name. So, it kind of intrigued me that they had this giant wolf that came up, while you've got the Utes that had a wolf god.
And worship them.
Yeah. So the Utes also said the ranch is the path of the Skinwalker. That was really something they said, 100 years before.
And aren't skinwalkers shape-shifting witches?
Yes, shamans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what can you tell us
to the
about...
dark side.
Yeah, and what can you tell us about Skinwalkers there, Rick?
Thought you'd never ask. Okay. Let me... now I gotta go find the document. Nope, there it is. Okay. Well, the funny thing is, the Utes keep getting brought up, but Skinwalkers, in all my sources that I found, were Navajo.
They are. It crosses over a lot.
Yeah, well, and like Wendigos could fall, I guess, into that
right
sort of territory too, but they're considered separate from everything that I've seen to have found. But yes, it's a harmful witch. It has the ability to take possession of animals and other people. Believed to be former medicine men who were corrupted by their own power and turned to evil. So basically, dark side. So they were Sith Lords. They became Sith Lords. They also have them as tall, skinny humanoids with elongated limbs and smelling of decay and or copper. So that's a pretty... I guess blood would be the copper smell.
Sulfur.
Yes.
And
they can be extremely fast. Yes. They can be extremely fast.
What?
Aren't skinwalkers also known for eating human flesh, or is that a...
That's a Wendigo.
Nope,
yes.
that's a Skinwalker too.
Skinwalker too?
Yeah, it's both. It's both.
Okay.
They can be extremely fast, agile, resilient, and able to mimic voices and
cookies.
speech patterns. So they can throw their voices, and they can pretend to be somebody to lure you in. They can be imagined as monstrous coyotes, which goes into what we were talking about, wolves or bears. They're supremely powerful and nearly impossible to kill. However, it's widely reported in lore that a bullet or knife rubbed with white ash might be able to kill them. So if those guys had instead of just using their 30-06 and their 357, they just dipped it in some white ash, might have done the trick. So that's what I've got. That's the short and long of it, as far as the actual skinwalkers themselves.
Are the cookies made with real skinwalkers?
We would hope so.
Yeah.
It is widely. They are not the Native Americans, or at least in the United States, are not really terribly thrilled that they're being brought into popular culture so much. So they're probably not happy with this. They like to keep their legends to themselves, and they think we misinterpret things.
Well, we kind of do.
A
lot.
Yes, we do. A lot. So, yes. Yeah, that's about it. And it can be male or female, too. So.
Right.
Were skinwalkers and weird lights the only supernatural thing they found, or was there any other cryptid monster they found?
They saw. So you know what? And I heard, over the years they were talking about, there's Bigfoot and I never saw any reports about a Bigfoot. I don't know. I watched about 5 different videos from different sources that all talked about Skinwalker and Bigelow and, you know, the chronology and the history of it. That was my main thing, is I wanted to know the chronology of who owned what and what they saw. But through all those, they never said nothing about Bigfoot. They did talk about their dogs freaked out one night and chased an orb. He went out, and I thought it was kind of weird because if my dogs were chasing something in the woods, I think I'd follow them. He went out and checked it out the next morning, and he found a puddle of ooze that was used to be his dogs.
Yeah.
They were like disintegrated from this orb. They also found circular holes where something had landed. Something that was very heavy had landed.
How much did you say Bigelow had paid for Skinwalker Ranch?
$200,000.
You know what that land was worth in 1996?
What?
Just for 500 acres of land in Utah at that time was $1,195 or $1,195,000.
Holy hell.
Good God. Well, if Bigelow paid him $200,000, that was half what they paid. Obviously, they paid $400,000 for the original ranch.
That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Because they underpaid too, or everyone has underpaid for that ranch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how much did Adamantium pay for that ranch?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it all caught up then. That's why Bigelow has more money now.
And
I guess my curiosity is, why did Bigelow sell it if it was so
mysterious.
Did he?
Huh?
Did he sell it, or did he just get somebody to invest in it that had enough money and time to put it through?
Well, no, he has the money, but did he just sell it to one of his own subsidiaries? Yeah, didn't he just sell it to one of his subsidiaries?
I don't know.
Is Adamantium Industries part of a subsidiary company for Bigelow?
I have no
Or does it have a connection at all?
Huh?
Is he a board member or something?
Or like an investor?
Sounds like he's moving money around, is what it sounds like. If it's
Well, they usually do to get away, get out of taxes. I mean, that's
Yeah.
You don't got to pay taxes on it. We just got to move it around. But I remember an episode 2 of Conspiracy Theory where Ventura went to Skinwalker, and there were so many cameras and it was so classified and whatnot, and he even walked up to it, and Ventura himself didn't even go into the property, but they were investigating Skinwalker to see what the big mystery was, and yeah.
Weren't there also like cases where the Sherman family lost like 70 and 40-pound tools, and they
found them in trees.
They kept on finding them all around in trees. Like they lost them one day, they went out in the woods the next and
They're on
found
top
them.
of a tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like one of them was like a 300-pound auger.
And I think there was also cases with animals also being found in trees.
Possible.
You don't think it's a bunch of drunk alien teenagers that are just running around and are going to that one place and just zapping stuff and putting it in trees just to mess around with the people that live there? It's like, oh, look, they think we got something going.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
Just them just playing like little pranks.
So,
it's all one big high school prank.
Robert,
yeah.
Do you have anything in Australia that can beat Skinwalker Ranch?
Well, I was just doing a bit of research. There is a place down here, Australia's Skinwalker Ranch, owned by Attila Caldi, or they're doing a podcast about it. I haven't had a listen to it yet, but it's half hour long for part 2. I don't know if it's part 1. I haven't found part 1, but I'm not even sure where they are, but they're here in Australia somewhere. There are most likely other places, probably in the Northern Territory, to be honest, because that's out in the middle of nowhere. That's also where Flying Gap is, so that'd be conclusive of that. They'd have to be out there somewhere. I do know of a few places up north that have had aliens or UFOs in Tully. They actually have a newspaper article on a big notice board telling everyone about what this farmer had seen that day, about an alien craft lifting up and the circular pattern in on the grass. And I've just been having a look at the Skinwalker Ranch from above, and there are at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 circular, really big circular landing spaces at least near the Skinwalker Ranch and Skinwalker Ranch Homestead number 2 near the UFO Valley and campgrounds and UTV tours. Then there's the Space Wolf Research just by another one of the big massive circles. So if they don't have the aliens there, what the hell are they doing?
Right? Yeah, and there was one case that was recorded where they actually did have an ice circle. It was actually cut into the ice, but it wasn't heated up. So the ice didn't melt. It was literally a circle that was cut into the ice. That was about a foot deep, I want to say.
Yeah.
Was it like a perfect circle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah. So
Yes,
not a
I
crop
remember
circle.
that. Okay.
Not a crop circle, but an ice circle.
Ice circle.
Yeah.
Strange.
They just wanted to make ice holes.
Ice hole.
They were going ice
Want to make
fishing.
these
They
snow
couldn't get
cones.
deep enough.
They were taking a core sample. What are you
Yep.
talking about?
Yep. But they didn't take the core.
Hey, they
They
took
just
an
cut the
alien
circle.
core sample.
They didn't take it out.
They just made it to make some
They just
snacks.
sucked
They
it
just
up.
cut it in.
Oh, they cut it in, not out.
So adamantium real estate doesn't exist.
What?
No?
It's a shell corporation.
Oh.
For
Not
who?
surprising.
It's run by a Netherlands trust company.
Netherlands.
It has 2 employees, makes $80,000 a year. Weird.
$8,000 a year.
Yeah.
So how did they get? Strange.
Oh, honey, because it's still owned by Bigelow Industries. That's
Yeah.
how.
Yeah. Again, it's just moving money around. So that you
And they're
can tax
making
break
billions off their new TV show, along with all the wonderful little T-shirts and.
I honestly don't know if
Merchandise.
it actually has anything to do with taxes. I honestly think it has more
money.
with the
Keeping it
legality of what they're bringing in and taking off the ranch. He can't be associated with anything.
Well, why not? Why couldn't
Well,
he be associated?
not
with
to
it?
mention, if the government's involved, you can file a freedom of
Well, that's the
information.
thing.
Right?
If he sold it
Right.
to a shell corporation, 90% chance the government's no longer involved, which means he went fully private.
Oh.
He privatized it. Watch, you know
And
what? I wouldn't
so
be.
he found something
Didn't want to tell the
in
government
2016.
and hid it.
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if it was owned by, like, Elon Musk or something.
And honestly, if there's nothing there, why the tight security?
And the thing with the tax breaks, if he honestly needed the tax breaks, he wouldn't have privatized it. The government would be involved. That way he gets them.
Yeah. Yeah, he's already a billionaire.
Yeah.
Tight security could just be that you've got so many people that know about this place now. It's not like it's hidden, and it's out there.
Yeah.
So people can go in. So it's essentially sort of the problem they had with Area 51. That, they had to do like quadruple the security they probably needed to in the first place
It's just
because it got put on the
military
radar.
base.
Right.
yeah.
Right.
It's just
and
so well known.
got people. So yeah, I imagine that's just.
But
it's
the
a
thing is,
privatized-
anytime you go to a rule of engagement with your security where you can shoot to kill, that's a completely different level of
Well,
Security.
yeah, but I'm just saying it's the same, but different. It's the same principle where people, ooh, look,
Yeah, it's just
something needs to go look at.
privatization of security versus.
Yeah.
To hide.
It's not whack
Right.
hut like
Yeah.
it is
Yeah.
or if
We
you
just don't want
want.
our,
It's
we don't want our shit
yeah.
broken. So it's not want people wandering
And,
up on
you
and
know,
maybe falling into a hole that
They,
just be a normal hole.
they even have the security guy on their little cute little TV show. So,
Well,
I mean,
and that's what I said. I mean, how many
He's an
people have
actor.
probably tried to break into this ranch just to see?
Yeah.
right.
Okay?
There's probably been hundreds of people just trying to get into,
I
trying to
have it.
figure it out.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
I have no
With a
desire
blank-
to. Fuck Skinwalker Ranch.
Fuck, I want to go there.
Really?
Well, do you
Yeah.
know how many people break into, like, supposedly haunted sites all the time?
I know.
Just to
I
see,
get that.
oh man, I could see a ghost. Well, I want to check this out. You know?
Well, we wouldn't do that.
No.
Never.
Never. Wink, wink.
I mean, you know.
You're not supposed to say the weak part.
Oh, sorry.
Well, it's not breaking in if we were invited by a ghost,
yeah.
Right?
Oh, hey,
Like,
that
that's right,
reminds
isn't
me
it?
of my random thought for the day. Just because you totally just said that. Okay?
Really one.
So, no, I do have a really weirdly, like, off-topic random thought for the day. Okay? And it is, so a vampire can't come into your house unless you invite him in.
Right.
Yes.
If a ghost that lives in your house invites the vampire in, does it still count?
No, I think it has to be the
No, you have to be
owner.
alive.
You have to be alive to invite him in?
I think so, yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I also think it has to be
Because
the
the
owner
ghost
of the
doesn't
house.
actually own the house anymore. He's dead.
Yeah.
You have to be invited in by the living.
And if a vampire dies, can they become a ghost? Or is that part of the reflection thing?
Yeah. Do vampires even have souls? Like because
I'm sorry, that was
it
totally
depends
off
on if
topic.
they sparkle or not.
Or,
Yeah.
or even better, they can't look in a
Sparkling.
mirror, so how do they shave?
yeah.
They don't.
They don't. They gotta stick with whatever they died with.
That's actually a well-known
Oh.
fact. Because they are considered the undead, they don't actually grow hair anymore
So their fingernails
on
don't
their
grow?
face. That's supposed to be part of the myth.
Okay.
Except in the whole Twilight Saga where they're just sparkly and happy and they always grow.
Yeah.
How about we never discussed the Twilight Saga?
Hey,
Putting a motion.
Oh, we talk about.
Never
Come on, we
discussed
talk
it.
about sparkly vampires all the damn time.
Oh my god.
Yes, the actual name of the movie shall not be spoken.
Okay, and to be
least the wolves were
perfectly
cool.
honest,
Yeah.
to
the
be
wolves were
perfectly
cool. You have
honest,
to admit that.
of course, those are the ones that
There
come
we go.
from
Okay,
Washington.
we're talking about
like, come on
vampires.
now.
Oh Lord!
Okay.
I saw the first one, and I regret that I'll never get that 2 hours back for the rest of my life.
I fell asleep. I'm
and I've
sorry, I've
wasted
never
a lot
seen
of
them.
time. So
And
I fell asleep in the first half hour of the first one.
I have a weird thought. Are there like caveman vampires? Like, is that a thing?
Well,
I
then,
don't think
I
No.
don't know.
No.
Christianity. Vampires are based in Christianity, or at least
Because,
popular.
like, did it
Isn't
happen
it?
after the
No.
whole Christian?
No,
No,
it's based off of Vlad the Impaler.
Yeah.
Right.
It was long before Christianity.
So that was before Christianity, but then it became this whole Christianity thing when she brought out the book that stated that
Yeah.
they were afraid of the cross and all this jazz, and that they were like risen demon
It's not
type
before.
things.
It was all
Christianity.
twisted around.
When they started chaining their dead.
Yeah, and then it got all twisted,
It
and
got
weird.
twisted around.
Then there were bars on graves for a long time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And people just put a
And
stake through
Francis Ford
people's
Yeah.
Coppola did it
when they
Okay,
died.
hold on.
right.
Vlad the Impaler was not before Christianity.
The
He was born in the 1400s, guys.
Vlad.
Come on.
Vlad the Impaler.
whatever. He liked to impale people. That's all I know. Ha, blah blah.
He is considered the original
I did
Dracula,
not
and
say blah blah blah.
was.
In every Dracula movie,
We'll concentrate on
Dracula
him
never
next
says blah blah blah.
Oh,
Yes, we will
yes.
talk
Let's do vampires next
History
week.
of vampires
Yes.
next week.
Woo!
So,
That's a T-shirt. Blah blah blah.
Blah blah blah.
friend,
Transylvania. Blah blah blah.
Really? Because all I think of is one.
One night
They just made a new one.
what?
Blah blah blah.
And one diabetes.
What you got to check
I
out,
need
though,
to, I need to
is
fucking break this up. So,
blood
Okay,
and
sorry,
guys,
chocolate.
hey,
Sorry.
hold on.
What?
Why are chickens funny?
Because they look weird.
Blah, blah,
Have
blah.
you
I don't know.
seen chickens?
Yeah.
What?
Oh wow. Okay.
And they kind of got a weird looking head. Like, have you seen their little eyes? They're like weird looking.
Can you have black-eyed chickens?
Oh,
Have
can
you looked in a
Are
mirror?
you looking
Hey,
in the eyes?
what?
looking at-
I look like you when you were
Aren't they
younger.
all black-eyed?
Yeah. Black-eyed peas.
Yeah.
Can chickens get black eyes?
What?
If you hit them hard enough.
Yeah. They already pop out.
I need to test
Jesus.
this.
Turkeys are dumb. They'll drown themselves in the
They'll
rain.
look up and they'll drown.
Seriously?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, they're idiots.
So
Dude.
they're like dodo birds.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Now-
Benjamin Franklin wanted that to be the national bird.
A turkey?
Yep.
Seriously?
Yep.
Oh wow! I'm so glad we're not the turkeys.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah, I think someone already took that.
I'm gonna leave that one alone.
Might be more fitting. Yeah.
Most of the country still thinks that
There's a way.
eagle can kick the shit out of a goose. So, friend,
Ugh, that's not right.
Yeah.
Gooses are,
American goose or a Canadian goose?
a Canadian,
gooses are scary. I got chased around by one for like an hour.
So
you got bit by one when you were a kid, and you freaked out for like 2 hours.
I did?
Yeah,
I just remember
Correct.
being chased around by one.
I helped you after like an hour and 45 minutes of laughing, but
I thought you were going to talk about 60% of the country still thinks there's like 42 states.
People actually think that?
there's not that many. No,
So yes, turkey would be fitting.
So wait, if an eagle and a beaver got into a fight on the border, no, never mind. Okay.
the beaver wins.
If I had like laid an egg on a perfectly triangle house, what side would the egg fall down?
That's a rooster, dude. Roosters don't lay eggs.
Aw,
So,
But a platypus does.
they do?
okay,
Weird. Platypus is also...
part of me doesn't believe Skinwalker
Skinwalker.
that Skinwalker Ranch is real, like any of it. And it's a large part of it's because of what they're doing to it now. Like, there is a very good chance, not a very good chance, there is a decent chance that, yes, Bigelow still owns it, and he did find something there, and that's why the movement of funds and files. But the other possibility is when he didn't find anything, he tried to sell it. Because we don't know when Bigelow put it up for sale. That's the thing. Like, how long did that ranch actually sit on the market? And
Well-
if it was sold for about the same amount, in 2016, land in Utah almost doubled from 1996. So it's almost $4,000 at that point. So,
Buying off land in Utah.
right?
More specifically, why?
Farming.
Ranchers?
They're raising their cattle.
It's ranches and farming.
Yeah.
Yes. The big corporations that do the cattle and chickens, I guess. But
Well, and it's getting harder and harder for us as a country to raise farmlands.
Well, and how
Farms
many
in
kids do
Kansas and all
Mormons
those
have?
areas,
They have to have.
we are
several
having
kids.
to feed people with these farms, but it's not going the way it should. With more natural disasters that we've had over the years, and more
And reindeer ailments.
more loss of fields
Yep.
and crops,
right,
we're failing at feeding the country. So, more land is being turned into farmland than ever before. So,
that, I just
Unless
didn't
you
know
live-
that the climate would sustain
Unless
as
you
far
live
as
in-
actual like crops and things of that nature. But just because of the weird swings in climate.
Oh fuck, dude,
Right.
you should see Saskatchewan. If you don't
Yeah.
like the weather, wait 5 minutes. But
Well, that's Texas.
over
So-
70% of the province is farmland.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, it is. There's a lot of crops you can grow in pretty much any weather.
True.
So,
Well, right.
except for fucking tornadoes.
Except for weed.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of makes it hard. Unless you own 500 acres, because then you're still on your property if the tornado tosses you. Right. But, like, with what they are trying to do now with it, if they are actually creating recreational facilities, entertainment services, development, production, and content with motion and pictures and television shows, there is no way that what they found there is real because the insurance wouldn't cover them.
Yeah.
No.
No.
There'd be too many accidents
Yeah.
if it was real.
Well, and if there is radiation in the soil,
Then
Well,
There's
the
not a lot they can do
radiation
with it.
in the soil. Shouldn't the government have stepped in already and been preventing people from buying the land or just taking it in as part of their? The government
Yeah.
buys land all the time and takes
Well,
it away.
it-
So
shouldn't they?
Well,
like,
especially
hearing
if
it?
they're growing crops there.
Yeah, but
Let's grow our food in radiated soil, guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
how much of Nevada has farmland? Northern Nevada.
Nah, quite a bit of it. So yeah, I guess so. And that's all freaking radiated
And
land.
how many ranches are there in Nevada? Right next to where they frickin' did the bombing.
Ask the Bundys.
yep.
Friend, like, honestly, you gotta think, we're eating that meat every year.
Yeah.
Friend, it can't be that radiated anymore.
Well, and to be perfectly honest, we eat fish all the time that came from the area of Bikini Atoll.
Or like three-eyed fish.
Well, and then, frick, our milk is radiated still from Fukushima.
And there's a ton of plastic in it too. Like in everything nowadays.
Microplastics are everywhere, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They say now humans have at least, I think it's like 0.2% of plastic in them.
I'm still better. I got 10% metal.
Well, that's because you're a leg.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. We are technically all Barbie girls.
Yeah.
In a Barbie world.
In a bar.
You
Made
just
of
admitted to being
plastic.
a girl, John.
It's
What?
fantastic.
Wow.
Speaking of which, you do know that's a movie that's coming out, right?
Yes,
yes.
I know.
Wait,
oh my
seriously?
god.
There's
Oh
a
my
Barbie
God.
girl movie?
Yes.
No, there's a Barbie.
Live action Barbie movie, dude.
Oh, they gotta sing the song in it.
The best part is who plays Barbie.
Who?
Harley Quinn.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there... Wait,
Yeah.
does Barbie play everyone?
Who plays Ken?
I don't know who they got for Ken. I
Ken
can't
is
remember.
Ryan
I don't
Gosling.
know, but he comes in.
Right, yeah.
Ryan Gosling. Oh my god.
Does
And
Barbie
it's
play every
very
character?
thin. I've seen the promo.
Because there's like Barbie Doctor, Barbie Lawyer.
Oh, I don't know how they're going to
Oh,
do
Barbie
that.
just plays everything.
Yeah, like, is Barbie every character?
I do have to give a shout out to the Mattel company.
Okay.
The creators of Barbie, they just released a Barbie that I would be proud to buy. They released the first ever Down syndrome Barbie.
Oh, cool.
Oh.
Friend, yeah,
Yep.
a great moment of inclusion. That's awesome. Friend, so, and they gave a bunch of them away to young girls with Down syndrome. So,
Oh, sweet.
That's
Right.
actually really cool.
yeah.
Yep.
What do they look
Yep.
like?
Really?
Sorry.
You're looking it up?
Hey, it's as far as like these sort of properties being turned into movies. I mean, Hasbro, they managed to make a movie about Battleship.
Yeah, that's true.
They did?
I saw that in the
Yes.
theater, by the way, and it was worth every cent just because I laughed all
So-
through all the action scenes, all the inaccuracies that the
Well-
U.S. Navy would behave and how they would approach things, and or how ships should behave. So,
Even as guys, we all know the stories of like Barbie and her friends and everything,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Friend, let's hope they do a better fucking job than they did with Battleship. Jesus Christ.
oh, well, given the source material, it doesn't have to be that strong a movie. It's just gotta it's going to play into the parody of it, I'm sure.
How do they?
I think it's a
do
Barbie
the
Civil
battleship?
War is going on. Is what it seems like what's happening in it. Like
She's
Barbies are fighting Barbies.
As long as she does the neck snap.
Oh, that's creepy.
Yeah, she cracks her neck one way. That has to happen. I want to see that, just because that will make the whole movie worth it. Friend,
Or like if
Version
her
of
limbs
Bandit
go
Snap.
like turn around.
friend. Actually, we've got a lot of great movies coming up in our time now.
Yep.
Oh yeah, like there's the FNAF movie finally got a release date, October.
You might want to explain what that is. Everyone here is pretty fucking old.
Sorry. The FNAF movie is based off of the game franchise Five Nights at Freddy's. It has a ton of lore, came out with brand new games recently. Their most recent one was... what was it called?
I don't know. We're old, remember?
I don't play FNAF.
I can't remember. I know there's FNAF VR. That was the newest thing. But they finally came out with the movie. It's coming out October 25th. It's been in work for like 5 years, maybe more.
It's basically a horror video game.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
But what I was going to say, aren't they a little late to the game on this? Considering Nicolas Cage had a movie that was sort of like based in a like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Actually,
He did.
Fun fact about that was actually the franchise that was making that. It was actually supposed to be the FNAF movie that Nicolas Cage was playing in, but Scott Cawthon, the creator, did not like the storyline that they were doing and decided to cancel it. But they already made so much of the set and everything that they just changed the characters and changed a little bit and made a brand new movie.
Yeah, they did that back in the 70s with there was a Doctor Strange movie, and it got down to the last minute in the production. Whoever had the rights to the character decided either they didn't like it, and they just washed.
Hold on. We're having.
It's still white.
Searching for location.
There you are.
There we go. Okay, and we're live again, guys.
Yep.
Sorry, we had a few minutes of technical difficulties there.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It happens.
Friend,
Robert, what was it you were discussing? Sorry.
Just saying that Ron Howard was on the Capricorn Coast just on Saturday,
Okay.
searching for
no way.
locations for filming.
Oh, cool.
Hopefully he's not doing the Han Solo sequel.
I don't know.
friend,
It was called a solo movie?
I'm excited for a movie that's about to come out, actually. And I don't get excited for horror movies,
Oh.
but Evil Dead Rise.
Right.
Yeah, I am very excited for that one. Kayla's not, because it scares the shit out of her.
No, okay, I'm not a fan. Okay, so I have a really big problem with contortionists. Okay? And, like, in general. I do not like the contorted way of moving, and it seems like every horror movie that's come out in the last, like, 5 freaking years has a whole bunch of contortionists in it, and I'm just not a fan.
Right, well,
You mean the ones that can walk backwards on their hands and upside down?
spider
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, this stems from, like, childhood and the circus and shit, and I can't handle contortionists. So all of these movies with all of this weird movement and jerky crap,
Like Exorcist?
I don't want to watch them. Yeah,
Sticks in the ceiling.
right?
like, we've got a few good ones coming up. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Oh, yeah.
3. Yep.
65, which is pretty much
Yeah.
a new remake of Jurassic Park, but it's going to be awesome. The Boogeyman, they're remaking that.
Oh god.
Oh, wait.
We've got Indy 5.
Why are they
Yeah.
Indiana
remaking?
Jones 5 is
Yeah.
They're remaking a ton of movies.
One thing I saw about Brandon Fugel
Uh-huh.
was he was heavily into reanimating the woolly mammoth.
Oh yeah, they also
Did he make the meatball?
Yeah,
Huh?
did he make the mammoth meatball?
Mammoth meatball?
I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah.
But
You guys heard about the mammoth meatball, right?
They
He's
made
the one that was big on getting scientifically the woolly mammoth recreated.
Recreating the woolly mammoth through cloning and different structural.
And I think they already built the facility for it. It's in Siberia, because that's the best location for it. It's the closest to their
natural habitat.
Yeah.
Or at least what their natural habitat would have been.
Oh yeah, he's a huge investor in
the woolly ball? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not just into real estate. He's not just into... He's only using a reality TV show about Skinwalker to basically fund his...
So
project.
what if the only thing they found on there was a whole bunch of woolly mammoth bones, and he's like, hey, that's my jam. You know?
Good possibility.
Or he found a whole bunch of oil and just said, oh, I don't even need to worry about the Skinwalker stuff anymore. We're going to start putting pipes in the ground tomorrow.
Right? Frack it!
They're gonna supposedly have it done by 2027.
Ooh.
The woolly mammoth is going to be here in 2027?
That's not too far
Oh,
away.
we're bringing it back.
Are we landing on the moon in 2027?
Oh yeah.
Well, we better be if we're bringing back dinosaurs. We gotta.
Yeah, we gotta go big. It's gonna be a big year.
Yeah,
We need somewhere to run away from them.
because we have 5 movies about how it's such a horrible idea to have dinosaurs.
I know. Okay, seriously. Like, did we not see what this can do?
Did they not see Jurassic Park and how it ruined thousands of things?
Yeah.
And how
Well,
they
you
all
do
escaped?
realize- Yeah, you do realize there are scientists out there trying to get AI to where it's Skynet level. I don't know why.
Yeah.
It's a bad idea.
We have
Saying
some-
what could happen.
We have so many movies
Well,
about
they
how
had
it's horrible.
those two that were talking together in their own code, so they had to shut them down.
Yeah, but did they
That's a
shut
bad
them
idea.
down? Did they really shut them down? Or did they go, huh, let's
right.
just not let anybody know?
I gotta fucking say it. The Artemis 3 mission is due to land in 2025 or 2026, landing the first woman and the first person of color on the moon. But since they're taking a woman, it's probably going to be 2028 because she won't go until she wants to.
And the men went off for directions.
You're so funny! True, but funny! Okay. Wow.
Isn't Elon Musk gonna land something on Mars soon?
Well, they've been talking about landing
What,
shit on
right.
Mars since the
Well,
freaking
he's-
70s.
Yeah, he's back to not even making it out of the atmosphere. So.
No, he's too stuck on Twitter right now.
Oh.
And he's blowing up vans for fun.
Supposedly, that launch they did gave them great insights to how big they can make this ship.
Okay, but you know what?
Are you gonna start making arcs?
It's kind of messed up how many animals they killed, though.
Yeah, but they are talking about the Ark project and getting the.
But they launched the first Ark.
They launched the first Ark. It just killed everything in it. Yeah.
And by launch, that's a loose definition of what actually happened. It more or less exploded.
Well,
It
but was
hovered
planned.
for a second and then
It
exploded.
hovered and then exploded.
In his news presses, he said before they launched that it was going to explode. It wasn't going to make it out of the atmosphere.
So
That was part of the plan.
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm sure.
Cool.
I'm sure PETA loved that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
So I'm
Okay,
like,
but
what
it
the
was
hell?
only the DNA, guys. Come on.
But still, that's
Okay.
considered
Doesn't matter.
life.
It does not matter.
And you think of how many perverts there are probably in the space program. There was a bunch of human DNA in there too.
Okay. Hey. So,
That gives a new meaning to DNA. Decontaminized.
oh my god, have you guys ever seen Galaxy Quest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, when you said it exploded, all I could think of is, and then it exploded.
Oh, and there's a
no, I'm getting the bubble bunch
Oh my god.
confused with
Yeah,
that.
but so Artemis 3 is going to land on the moon. They already have a second ship being built, Artemis 4. So, or a fourth ship, I guess, because Artemis 1 and 2 are built. They're just not going to the moon. They're going around it.
Oh, and there's this
Okay.
new space.
And the
movie.
first one is doing a figure 8 pattern around the moon.
Mm-hmm.
The second one will stop at the moon and drop a lander. And then
So they're repeating the Apollo format
Yes.
where they did a bunch of test runs at it before they got to 11. So right.
well, they got to make sure nothing fucking changed. It's been quite a
Well,
while.
yeah.
Yeah, and there's a
Like Go ahead.
pretty good space movie coming out soon called The Iron Lung that someone's making. I think it's a YouTuber. I don't really know, but it looks really cool.
The Iron Lung.
Yes, it's based off a indie video game. It's basically you're a prisoner that gets sent down into an ocean of blood on the moon, and you go and explore.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
making a movie of it. Looks really
Okay.
cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, it actually, he's right. Like it actually looks kind of cool. It's an adaptation of the 2022 video game of the same name,
Yeah.
and it's a convict who, after a cataclysmic event, causes all stars and habitable planets in the universe to disappear.
Wow.
Okay.
Well, wait, if all
That is
habitable
a massively
planets disappear,
cataclysmic event.
Yeah.
Then what the fuck happened to
Well,
Earth?
that was-
Where
that
did he
was the
start
premise
from?
of one of the Doctor Who shows. So
Yeah, it
He
was.
just started
Matt?
somewhere in space with one of those. He is one of the inside people.
Oh, that is such bullshit.
So he just wanders around space going, well, I wish I had a planet.
Yeah.
So it is Doctor Who. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess.
God.
Fuck.
Just found a
Okay.
planet, landed on it. Went in the ocean.
All right, again, off topic, but what is your favorite 80s horror movie?
Gremlins.
Hellraiser.
Nice. I gotta say, mine's probably Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay.
What's
I also like Shocker.
Yeah.
That was an interesting
when was
concept.
Scanners made?
That was an interesting concept.
Oh, Scanners was
79,
scary.
80? So it might have gotten into the 80s.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
was around
Phantasm.
was Jason Voorhees
I like
in the 80s?
Phantasm,
What?
too.
Jason Voorhees.
Yes.
Also.
Yeah.
Yes. Friday the 13th was an 80s
Yeah.
franchise. So I think the original came out. Yeah. It came out the same year that Empire Strikes Back, so that would have been 80. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, I was just wondering.
Yeah,
No.
nobody ever
Oh.
gets
81.
Go ahead.
Maximum Overdrive.
I said Scanners.
Oh,
was
there you go.
81.
Oh.
81,
Oh.
okay.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, let's go back farther.
This is not fair because most of mine are in the 80s.
How about the 70s?
Correct.
Oh.
Well, but like there's Christine, there's Beetlejuice.
Oh, no.
Friend.
Fuck Christine. Have you ever seen The Car?
You're not supposed
I
to do
wouldn't
that
mind.
to a car.
In the car. But, no.
Poltergeist,
The
That
Car.
tailpipe will burn you.
Lost Boys, Troll.
Yep.
Like all of these are 80s guys. Like, how do you pick one? Elvira.
See, that's the thing about the 80s, though. We had something to go to every weekend on
But-
2 or 3 days
I
at the
understand.
movies. We
Back
could go
then, to
Thursday
watch
night
them.
one movie, Friday night the next movie, Saturday night another movie.
Well,
So,
yeah, to watch these movies, you had to go to the theater.
yep, there was.
All the driving.
So, we had
Because
VHS, but
if it came out on if it came out on HBO,
Probably
it
was
came out
at
at
the
least 6
store.
months to a year after the theater release.
exactly.
And
The videotape-
HBO or Cinemax were the two paying channels that you might be able to go to watch them.
Right. Yeah, the 80s. It was a far different time, and
But in the
there was
70s
streaming. So yeah,
No, in the 70s, if I remember right, and I'm not sure if this was the 70s or 80s, but have you ever heard of the movie called Runaway with Tom Selleck?
oh yeah, that was the 80s.
Oh,
and
fuck,
yes,
guys.
yeah.
Huh?
Little Shop of Horrors was 80s.
Yeah?
Like, this is hard to pick one.
Where was Skinwalker Ranch in the 80s?
Good question.
Utah.
Probably still
Oh,
in
I know
Utah.
that. That makes you wonder. We're talking movies. What about real life horror?
Yeah.
You're honestly talking a pretty good description of real life horror if Skinwalker Ranch was really happening.
Still owned by the Myers in the 80s.
Is what's the tribe called?
Which one?
The ones that are by the Skinwalker Ranch.
Ute?
Tribe
Ute.
still? Are they still around?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Like,
Most of them are in Colorado, though.
yeah.
yeah, have they said anything about Skinwalker Ranch and stuff around there?
See, what's interesting is so a lot of the stories, not from the Sherman family or the Utes were talking about shit happening on that land hundreds of years before the Sherman family talked about what they saw. If I remember right, the Utes were actually talking about things flying in the sky and whatnot as well. If you want to get to facts, look at Native American lore and history. They talk about, Sasquatch, which is a translation of hairy man. So when you're talking paranormal stuff, looking at native lore is amazing.
Yeah.
And looking at the cave paintings that came out of Utah from the Utes.
Because I know lots of people found weird-looking cave paintings that had humanoid figures that weren't human.
Right?
So, is there a large cave system in this area, too?
No, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm just wondering.
I would imagine.
Usually, a lot of the paranormal activity seems to be centered around cave systems. And I was just wondering if there was a large cave system by
Not
it.
true. There's no caves in the Burrito Triangle. It's just fucking water.
There's
underwater caves.
Yeah, there's
I believe
underwater
that.
caves.
I don't believe that.
There's underwater caves
go
all over.
In a sub and prove it.
All right,
I dare
we're
you.
scuba diving.
Yeah. And have you seen Minecraft?
Who got
They
it?
got underwater caves all around.
Oh my god. Okay.
It's slightly based off of real life.
Tell you what,
Minecraft
I'll stay on
says
the
so.
boat and I'll feed you the line down.
Yeah.
Because I'm too old to go scuba diving right now.
Oh my god. John's gonna get lost in the Bermuda
I
Triangle.
will tell you guys, you have never seen anything more entertaining than John trying to teach his grandfather to play Minecraft.
Oh, yeah.
Holy crap.
He couldn't figure out how to look up or down.
Friend, it was like watching a kid hold the flashlight for his dad. Friend, John was so frustrated.
That's my dad trying to move a mouse.
Friend, yeah, they don't get it. Friend, guys, the 70s horror movies are just as fucking hard.
Huh.
Well,
pick one
70s, you still had drive-ins, so you
What
were
about-
still getting a pretty decent... Well, in the 80s, too, you had a lot of B-movies. So,
What about 2000 horror movies?
There was... Yeah, they cranked out.
The 70s
Hundreds.
wasn't a lot of B movies though. You have
Whoa.
big hits.
All right.
Okay, what do you got in the 70s?
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The
Yep,
Exorcist,
okay.
Jaws,
Yeah.
Carrie,
Oh,
Glass
I
House on
remember
the
Jaws.
Left, Alien,
Yep.
Salem's Lot,
Oh jeez.
Yep.
Eraserhead, The Wicker Man, Halloween.
I
Is
remember.
Last
Woman?
House on the Left considered horror, or is that just evil people?
They listed it as horror.
They
They
would
were.
be horror, but no,
No,
we call them slashers in the 70s.
Yeah, what is the
Well,
definition
yeah,
of horror?
there's no-
What's the difference between horror and thriller?
That's a good
I don't
question.
because that's the
Okay,
thing.
so a thriller is more like your psychological movies.
Yeah, but Deliverance is considered a horror movie.
Yeah, there's a thin line between horror and thriller.
They're both good. Well, Pet Cemetery, I think, was Pet Cemetery 70s or 80s?
80s.
It was 80s, never mind.
I think Pet Cemetery is thriller. not
I
horror.
actually saw Pet Cemetery in the theater.
Well, no, now that actually has to do with, again, going back to Native American lore,
Yeah.
the burial ground.
Yep.
So that is technically in the supernatural, so that goes to what I would consider horror. Jason Voorhees is and Michael Myers and Freddy, they're all supernatural beings that can withstand all kinds of punishment. They don't just die. It seems like they do, but somehow they always.
Freddy is more of a, if you go with the Dreamwalker theory, he could be in that as well. So that'd be supernatural too.
Yeah, and Jason Voorhees is just pure immortal.
Right.
I just remember, the original Nightmare on Elm Street. It still sticks in my head when Freddy has her on the ceiling and literally rips her guts. And of course, the girl that's in the bedroom with her doesn't see Freddy; she just sees her friend spitting on the ceiling.
Yeah. And then at the end, she thinks she wakes up, but she's.
I can't remember which one it was, but there's one where the girl ends up in a factory type area, like a boiler.
That was the second one.
Yeah, and he snakes his tongue out, and it.
Yep.
And
that was Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah, that was fucking stupid.
Well, no, you know what's stupid? Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
Well, that was a money maker.
It was. And it was still
but it did work for Alien versus Predator. That brought that whole storyline together, and that worked well.
That worked awesome.
It did.
That's one of my favorite ones, too.
So, and if it works so well for that one, you kind of got to try it with the others as well.
Yeah.
At least once to see if it works, and it didn't, so they didn't make...
I'll be honest, I saw Freddy vs. Jason more as a comedy than anything. Because of the one-liners they had between each other.
We didn't get a Pinhead versus Michael Myers.
You know what I want to see?
I can't remember which one it was, but when Pinhead actually showed his human side, was cool.
Yeah.
He actually showed empathy.
Yeah. I kind of want to see Annabelle versus Chucky. I want to see how that kind of goes. That would be funny.
Oh, God.
They just end up having sex. And then we're in real frickin' trouble. We do not need their children.
Yeah, what would Chucky's wife think?
No, you have the bride of Chucky.
What would she think if she found, Chucky and Annabelle?
No, you would have to make it Annabelle gets pissed off because Chucky's... the bride of Chucky gets pissed off because Chucky and Annabelle are looking at each other.
Yeah.
So it becomes the bride of Chucky versus Annabelle.
So it becomes less horror and more romance.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Jeez.
Well, now the other one. Have you guys ever heard of the movie Dolls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that might have been 70s, might have been early 80s, and that was an interesting concept movie.
Well, the thing about the 70s, and it kind of went in a little bit of a, Hollywood and how they do patterns.
Yeah.
The Exorcist was such a huge hit, and there was a ton of Satan things out there. It was Paul and I have talked about this on a couple of occasions where Satan was in everything. Shatner was in a Satan movie with Ernest Borgnine and Sam Elliott.
Okay, so you know why? I think a lot of that had to do with the whole satanic panic.
Right. So there was that. Then Jaws came out, so there was a ton of animal movies. The insects were going to take us. Bees. Day of the Animals. Day of the Animals came out. Octopuses, yeah.
And they all come out at the same freaking time with the same basic concepts.
It's a whole series.
Okay, you will have ants and A Bug's Life and all of these all at the same time.
Asteroids, volcanoes.
Right.
That was the thing in the 90s. So, yeah.
I do have a favorite Satan movie. Devil.
Okay.
Do you guys remember that from 2010?
The Yellow movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorites.
That one was pretty good.
I like movies that Kayla can't guess.
Yeah, I'm kind of an ass, okay? So when we're watching movies, 5 minutes into it, I'll be like, oh, fuck. Okay, this guy's dead. This one doesn't know what's going on. And this little boy over here, well, he's just being stupid. Okay, and then Cole's like, damn it! Okay? So it just, ruins the entire movie for him. So now, he's he's at that point now where he either shows me a bunch of movies that have contortionists in them because he knows I won't watch them, or he tries to find something that I won't guess right away.
Yeah, what was that one movie that you couldn't guess for the life of you? And you just kept on getting it wrong.
Oh, shit.
We just watched that, too.
We just watched it.
That
I can't
wasn't
remember.
that long ago.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember the movie.
But no, it was really super fucked up, because usually I get it within the first, like, maybe 20 minutes. Where I'm like, okay, here's the plot, here's what happened.
No, it wasn't that one.
This one, up until the very end, and then at the end I was like, what the fuck? Okay, like, I don't even remember what the name of the movie was.
I have a favorite horror movie from the 70s that, going back to drive-ins, my parents were watching something on one screen. I was supposed to be asleep. I couldn't even hear the audio, but I was watching out the back window because you could climb back into the back window of the large vehicle. And so I was watching a movie called The Car. And it was just, it's a satanic car that was driving around the southwest somewhere, and probably Skinwalker Ranch. It didn't look like Utah, but it might have been. But yeah, it had James Brolin was in it. It was a dumb movie, and as a kid, I wasn't even scared of it, but it was fun to watch. This car would just randomly show up out of nowhere and just run people down, and and at the end, they managed to convince it to drive off a cliff to beat it. So this one vehicle that was supernatural and everything else got tricked into driving off a cliff, and it should have been able just to keep going, but plot.
Yeah, it was 1977.
Which one?
The Car.
Yeah.
Oh, The Car was awesome.
And one of my favorite horror movies is Sharknado.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Sharknado in space.
Okay, but that holds sentimental memories. Me and John watched that at 3 o'clock in the morning when he had the flu. That was our first movie we watched together, and
then we watched all of them.
Yeah, we watched all of them like till morning, and Kayla wakes up and she's like, "What the hell are you two doing?" And we're like, "Sharks."
Well, the Asylum, who I think they were behind the Sharknado movies, their production company. They're the ones that do all the Sci-Fi Channel movies. They have their own channel on Roku. You can watch horrible knockoff movies from that studio.
And Shudder.
Oh Lord.
Velociprap.
No, there's an Asylum channel by itself. On
Roku.
Really? Yeah.
Just
okay.
that studio, just their movies. We watched one the other night where it was Moby Dick 2015, I think was the title of it. It had
Hell yes! Oh my god, that's awesome.
Barry Bostwick, and it was a submarine chasing it. It was presumed, I guess, Moby Dick didn't exist as a novel in that world, so it was a literal thing that was going. The CGI is god awful. The acting is.
Of course.
Did any of you ever watch Xena the Warrior Princess?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The little blonde girl that was her little cohort. She was the main star, and she was not good.
Okay.
Barry
It
Bostwick
wasn't
was
good
the main
in
star.
Xena either.
So I'll tell you guys, like, one of my stupidly guilty pleasures as far as that goes is Kimberly, my daughter, is super into disaster movies. Okay?
Oh, God, yes.
Oh, God.
So we watched all
70s.
all of the major disaster movies, the really, really good ones, okay? Like The Impossible, we watched Deep Impact, all of these grade A disaster movies. Well, we ran out of them.
Did you
Right.
ever watch Earthquake?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Earthquake from
So
the
when
70s,
we ran out of them, then we had to resort to Meteor Storm 2023, with all of these. So she'll just pop on the weirdest disaster movie she could possibly find, and it's Meteor Storm, or it's Geostorm, or something ridiculous like this. And we'll just sit there and watch the stupidest disaster movies in the world.
And laugh.
Hey, I've got all of the airport movies from the 70s. We bought a box collection of it, so I'll loan it to you guys sometime, and you can watch how just god-awful those movies are, especially the last one with
you don't know.
Oh, my God.
Airplane.
We can't watch those.
No.
Why?
I literally do not have a device anymore that will play anything but streaming.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I got rid of everything.
Don't you guys have an Xbox?
I got an Xbox S. So
We got
it's
a
digital
streaming
only.
Xbox. We don't have a disc.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I understand. Okay. Got it.
Yeah, friend, I got rid of it all because I started collecting
Takes up space.
DVDs for a while.
Oh, we had
and-
so many.
Yeah, by the time I was done, we had about 8 tubs, and 2 of them were just filled with the DVDs. There was no cases.
Oh God, Robert.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't call me Shirley. Oh.
Oh.
Unless we forget the Poseidon Adventure, which I'm sure you can watch on streaming as well.
Love the Poseidon Adventure.
Not the crappy remake from about
No, no, no.
2010,
The original.
so,
Yeah,
yep. Gene Hackman and Ernest Borgnine. Okay.
absolutely. Oh.
Friend, well, let's just all hope they eventually make an actual good movie about Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm watching.
I would watch that.
If
If they made one that was actually worth watching, I would watch that.
Kayla's really excited for a movie that's coming out. It's called Choopy.
I already watched it with
Did
Kim.
you?
Yeah.
Choopy?
What's Choopy?
Chupacabra?
You seriously
Chupacabra?
watched that without me?
Yes, I did.
You mean
I thought we were
Chupaca-
supposed to watch that as a
You're talking
family.
about Chupacabra,
Yeah.
right?
What is?
We
Sorry.
got gypped.
Me and Kim
every-
watched Choopy when it came out the first day.
Or even a real Mothman movie.
No.
No?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
No.
ain't feel me? I gotta wait to
A more
watch something
accurate version of
because we gotta
Mothman.
watch it as a family. And we never watch it, but then you just go ahead and watch Choopy.
That's really messed
This
up.
is double standards.
Hey, whoa. Whoa.
What it is?
I feel discriminated
Right,
against.
right.
Let's not attack the mom.
Oh, we're attacking you.
Yes.
So, Skinwalker Ranch. Skinwalker
Yeah,
Ranch. You know, I gotta be honest though. If there, now there's a lot of different lore about skinwalkers. There's a lot of different lore about Wendigo, about all of these Native American type creatures.
Real quick though, Robert, what do they know about the Aborigine lore? So the Aborigines in Australia, do they ever talk about anything like the Skinwalker or the Wendigo, like the...
Mostly they talk about those sort of things in what they refer to as the dream time. So they it's all about the rainbow serpent and all the ways that the different creatures down here were created. Mm-hmm. And the reason behind their creations. I'm pretty sure if you went back deep enough, they probably have the skinwalkers there too, because most of the animals were supposedly the natives of the area, and they changed into these creatures. So that could possibly be.
Because what's interesting is, we've got Sasquatch with our Native Americans here, and you guys have Yowie, which is also from the Aborigine. So we have a lot of similar creatures, even though they're, continents apart.
Continental differences in them.
Yeah.
Well, just like if you go over to, like you got the Yeti, you got the Yowie, you got Skunk Ape, you got like all of these different names for the same basic creature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got the biker bars.
Kraken.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
This is a knife.
There you go. I
Love it.
Friend, those were my favorite movies growing up. The Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Friend.
You can live on it, but it tastes like shit.
Oh, you guys probably tore Paul Hogan apart, didn't you?
The most dangerous animal in the world.
Yeah, I was not happy with the remake they did. Friend, that pissed me off.
Yeah, that was terrible.
The second one?
No, they remade
Or did they do
it.
a remake?
Yeah, they did an actual remake.
Oh.
And it was horrible. Ugh.
Oh, yeah, remakes usually are.
Friend. Oh, like we'll see how some of them do.
It was like the remake of The Lion King.
The live action Lion King.
Yeah.
Oh.
Live action, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, they made every Disney movie they could possibly think of, and then they're like, how do we keep making live action everything?
No, well then they made a Lion King cartoon with
his kid.
Now we have like Simba's Pride.
yeah.
Or
No, oh my God, that
Into the
was
White Lion.
it was good. It was good for a minute, and then it just got.
And then there were all this.
Well, yeah, it's like
crappy
Land Before
sequels.
Time.
No.
The first 180 were good, but the last 2,000, they were pretty rough.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, see, they ran out of Cretaceous period, and they headed towards a different one, and then
Yeah.
it became Ice Age. So,
Oh,
Land Before Time meets Jurassic Park. Ooh.
live action Land Before Time. It is Jurassic Park. What are you talking about?
Yeah, true.
I want to see the prequel.
of what?
The prequel of what?
Land Before
Land
Time.
Before Time, where it's just like little single-cell
Little
organisms.
single-cell organisms in their
2
fighting.
hours of two single-cell organisms sitting there.
And
Yeah.
then they just split.
And you might even get to see Q and Captain Picard drop in and go, ooh, that's where they started.
Oh, man.
Oops, I stepped on it.
Friend,
Oops, you're no longer there.
You got the little slime on your shoe. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Or on your ear.
That's
So-
ridiculous.
do you guys actually think Skinwalker Ranch is real? Like, not the actual ranch itself. I mean,
But
Do
what
you
they
think-
have had.
yeah. What do you think?
No.
That there's
I'm on the fence about it. I don't know.
I'm going to say,
They haven't got very
are there
much.
UFOs flying around? Probably, because we have UFOs flying around everywhere.
Yeah.
Could the cattle mutilations be real? Absolutely, because they still happen today everywhere.
But that could also they found cases where that was completely mundane, too.
Some, yeah. Yeah, well, they're always going to be. But I'm talking about the cases where predators won't even go near it. Those, just like crop circles, you look at the genetics of the crop, and it's a real case. Versus, you've got when you have a perfectly round core that was done with laser surgical precision. Because just because in some cases, just because there's no blood pools at the bottom. So sure, there's you have to know what you're looking at, I think, and you have to know the technology of the time. In the 70s, they didn't have laser surgical precision necessarily.
I gotta say, in my personal opinion, I believe that there is nothing more mysterious about Skinwalker Ranch than there is about my own backyard. Okay?
Okay.
I don't think that there's all of these beasts of burden and all of this stuff that lives on here. I don't think there's
One 500
anything
acre block? No.
anything more there than you would find in any area outside of a big city.
Well, I think you're gonna find more mundane threats on Skinwalker Ranch because of the radiation factor, because of it's
Now you got to understand that this is 500 plus acres of open country.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that would be like me going up to the dam here, walking out into the North Cascades, and saying, "I'm going to see the same stuff here that I see in downtown Seattle." That's not going to happen.
Right.
You're going to see more animals. You're going to see more crafts. You're going to see more stuff just because there's less light pollution. There's less of all this other stuff.
You're in a remote area.
Right?
Well, if you're just going to go with
Where
the
will they
remote,
find the hair dye?
What? Was that Rich?
Where will they find the hair dye? Pink, blue, green.
Right.
I'm sure they got them over there.
yes. I was just going to say, remote there are ranches in Texas that are just massive that would dwarf this. So if the aliens really wanted to do things discreetly, they could. Also, it would set up an interesting premise for another TV show, Skinwalker, Texas Ranger.
There you go.
No, you guys have chupacabra.
But you know, they say the same thing in certain areas of Texas and in certain areas, like all of these humongous like open areas, open space ranches and stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody's always talking about hearing weird shit or seeing weird shit or having awkward noises come from here or there. You're gonna have more of that living out in the country than you're gonna have anywhere else.
With no lights.
Right? And then you gotta take into effect the human factor of it too, where if you hear an owl out in the distance, and you don't necessarily know what an owl sounds like because you haven't been raised in an area where you hear them.
You're gonna think it's weird.
Your mind is gonna start messing with you, and you're gonna go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, and then you're gonna start the paranoia thing in yourself.
Well, it's just like the another incident that the family had was something with glowing yellow eyes and was in a tree. And was like 300 pounds. I mean, okay, cougars.
Okay, so it could be a mountain lion. It could be a bobcat. It could be any of these things.
And they tried to say it wasn't a cougar because we know what cougars look like. It was dark, motherfucker. It was dark.
And
how do you know it wasn't a cougar?
And your mind constantly messes with you. If you see, it's like if you look into a corner of a dark room and there's a pile of laundry. Sometimes you see a face in it, or it's like a person.
It's called pareidolia.
Your mind always messes with you. It makes you see things that aren't really there.
Yeah, and if you have already been told there's something scary here, then your brain is automatically thinking you're going to see something.
So, say they actually had the first 3 incidents that were weird that happened. Now they're already predispositioned to, oh my god, there's all kinds of crazy shit happening on the ranch.
Yeah, but we also don't know where these people originally came from.
Yeah.
Okay? Or anything like that. So, if they were people that had lived in, let's say, Texas their entire life, and they had never seen a full-fledged wolf or something that lived out there that didn't live in Texas, the second that they see it, they're going to say it was this big monster.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because they don't know what one actually looks like up close. The only time you've ever seen them is a domesticated version of this.
It's like back in old England, most people didn't know what like tigers and giraffes and hippos and elephants looked like, so they constantly thought they were big, giant monsters and were weird, mysterious things.
Right, just like for the longest time, on the top of the cryptid list was the silverback gorilla because no one had ever seen one.
Yeah.
They said, oh, it must be fake because it doesn't exist. People have sightings of this, but it doesn't exist because we don't have evidence.
Yeah.
And then what did they do? They walked into the forest and there was a whole pack of silverback gorillas.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's a real animal versus being a cryptid or on the cryptid list.
Yeah.
So
looking at the almanac, it's a possibility that Skinwalker Ranch, quite a few of them were conventional deaths.
What do you mean?
So, in January of 1995, a major storm laced with thunderstorms and Sierra cement, wet snow with lots of water. Damn it, an ad. And a strong cold front hit Utah on Sunday the 15th. Friend, that can cause a cow to become dehydrated immediately.
Right.
Causing the loss of lips, tongue, anus, genitals.
So
they shrink to nothing because the cow gets dehydrated by being hit by a piece of lightning.
Damn.
Causing with wet snow, it would dehydrate them immediately.
And if you've never seen that before,
they had all kinds of weird weather there where they had incredible temperatures in the summer that year,
Right.
and incredibly cold in the winter.
And
as
what
well.
year?
1995. Friend.
They had already sold the ranch to Bigelow by then.
No,
You bought it in
1996.
94, I think.
96.
Okay.
Friend, they
There
got
was-
a
there
record
was-
of 105
It was
inches
still
of
the
snow in a
Sherman's
single
94 to
storm.
96.
Damn.
Huh? Okay.
Carrying Gwen
Okay.
Sherman 94 96.
So there is one other case where they lost a cow and they followed it, and just like when they followed the wolf, they followed the tracks into the snow, and it was gone, like picked up, disappeared, whatever.
Okay, but you also gotta understand cows. Okay?
Oh, I know cows very well.
So if cows eat like wet barley, okay, then they fall over, they die, and they can explode.
Yeah.
Because the gases in their stomach build up the pressure and they cannot release it, and they will actually
That's
explode.
usually alfalfa, not barley.
Well, barley, alfalfa,
Right.
there's a couple of different plants that
Just
can
like feeding a bird
cause,
Ajax.
yes, that can cause a cow
That's
to
the gas.
actually explode.
And some of these cases, if no one knows about them, they're gonna think it's something paranormal.
Yes, and if one were to eat like a little patch of this because you didn't completely eradicate it off the farm from the last person that was there, it will explode.
And there are other plants that aren't natural to those areas, but can be found, like hemlock.
This was a ranching family, though, and most ranchers do know.
Right.
500 acres.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
at
still.
the same time, I mean,
Ranchers
500
still
acres of
know.
land that you haven't
I
gone
mean,
over
me as a
the
kid
entire
growing
piece.
up, I knew about all that shit. You're talking about grown-ups.
But could you explore 500 acres in 2 years?
No.
No. I'm talking about the health of an animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you found it afterwards and all it was
The thing is-
exploded and its guts were gone or its blood was
Right.
drained or its,
You're gonna think
and you
If you're a rancher,
already
you should know.
Yeah,
you
right.
should
Well-
you should
It depends on how it's done. Like, that's the thing with the weather one. Friend,
Well, the weather one's a little bit different.
yeah.
they accessed that or said that, and there's still people that will not believe that that is what caused some of them.
Now, what does a cow look like if it's hit by lightning? Does
I've
it
never seen a cow
cause
get
it?
like
No, I'm not. I'm just
I'd be
wondering,
pissed
like,
off if
because
my
if a
cow
human
got
is
hit
hit by
Medium
lightning,
rare.
they have an entry and an exit wound where the lightning
Right.
hit, and it kind of looks like laser burning. And not saying that all of these cows were hit by lightning and that's what caused, but
But in those winter months,
couldn't there have
when that
been
happened-
some form of mundane thing to
that
it?
storm in January? Not a chance.
No.
This is
No,
what,
because
Oh.
this is what they look like.
That was a cow struck by lightning.
Here.
sweet.
Yeah, it has
Not for a cow, but
it has a burn mark around it and has like a little-
a bird mark I could definitely. Yeah.
No, I mean, yes, a farming
that's
family.
yeah, and here's another one.
Yeah.
friend.
But I mean, a
you
farming
look at
family
wet
should
lightning,
know
like
these
when-
things.
If the
Right.
snow is up to its belly, the entire cow's going to be pretty much fucking just incinerated instantly.
And I'm sorry, an exit wound coming out the asshole to look like a surgical precision? No.
No, probably not. And I get that. But I'm saying, like, and like Rick was saying, if they are a farming family or a ranching family, then they know what the mundane things already look like.
Right.
They do. The only
That-
problem
not,
I
not
have...
always, because that's not always completely mundane. Some families, even though they're ranching families, have never come across that until they do.
Well, I understand too. In the
Mad cow.
90s, they didn't have fucking internet to go look at pictures like we are.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing is like I said, we don't know where they moved from. So
Yeah.
if they were to have moved from, let's say, Colorado or Texas or one of these
Or like
other
New
areas
Mexico.
where they're
Right.
not used to
Seeing
the type
this.
of weather and the type of harshness that can happen in Utah,
And the plants that
then they're not going to know of certain dangers that could happen there.
or what's happened to their cattle if that danger comes.
But
in
that
contact
is
with
my
them.
argument too. Is from the age of, well, I had cows when I was born, but from the age of 6, I had large animal veterinary books
Right.
because that was my goal. Was to when I was a kid was to be a large animal vet. So that's coming from a 6-year-old perspective. I can guarantee ranchers would know what most of your shit looks like.
Right.
Not saying again they were all,
They'd know
aliens
every
or
bit
whatever.
of everything. Yeah.
Right, but they're
Right.
usually going to know what they're looking at, and you're talking some kind of an instrument.
Yeah.
Now
That
the
would be on before our
thing
time.
that does get me on that is obviously if you have a whole bunch of cows that are dead on your property, the first thing that you're doing is you're calling the vet to come and look at them. Now, whoever that vet is used to that area.
Yeah.
They do know the plant life there. They do know all of this
and
stuff
this wasn't
So-
multiple deaths at one time. This was like a cow goes missing and they find it later.
Yeah.
And a
Right.
month later,
Right.
or 6 months later, whatever, they take another one. It wasn't because
It wasn't like a massive amount of death
If
all
I
at
saw
once.
5 cows dead at one time, I'd be thinking pandemic or epidemic or disease or something.
Or like
that.
carbon monoxide poisoning or something of this
Right.
nature.
Yeah.
Where there's an actual reason for there to be a herd of dead animals.
Now, 1996, you did have Linda Moulton Howe,
Yeah.
where she actually did come out and did Alien Harvest. So you could be if you were actually, you didn't come out and tell the public that you were actually investigating this quietly, they could have been exposed to an HBO documentary from Linda Moulton Howe talking about Alien Harvest.
Right.
Where she did do extensive study on,
Yeah.
because I don't think they called anybody out to investigate. That was just their word saying, yep, we had a cow die and there was no blood and the asshole was cored and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, and it lost its tongue and
Yeah.
Yeah.
They didn't have anyone come out and investigate it.
no.
That
Right,
was
but
their
I
word.
mean, okay, so we see this in all kinds of animals all over the world. Okay? Not saying that some of them wouldn't necessarily be alien caused.
Right.
Okay? But, I mean, we've even seen this in people. Like, if you think about, like, the Dive Pass incident,
Okay, that
Okay.
passed. You all right?
right? We've
They also
seen...
had a lot of human mutilations in Norway.
Right, and we've seen this in people, we've seen this in livestock, we've seen this in all different types of animals all over the world.
Elk, deer.
Exactly. So there has to be something that's causing it. Now, is it an alien that's causing all this stuff to happen? Maybe it is. Is it something that we just don't understand yet? That's a possibility as well. Like, there are so many things that it could be.
Yeah.
See, they tried to blame. So initially, when they tried to look at the mundane, not talking about Skinwalker, but mutilation
In general, yeah.
they tried to say, "Oh, it's cult activity." Cults
Right.
don't core rectums, and then they did go to the predator. It was a coyote or a cougar.
Well, and then they
You
talked
can't
about
say
it
that they don't go for the anus.
Yeah,
What if one of them is just an ass kisser who wants to get on the cult leader's good side?
Yeah, some
So
cults
what?
are
He had
very
a laser
weird.
in the 70s.
But at the same time, I mean,
Okay.
what if it's
How many laser cutters did they have
laser cutters?
in the 70s?
I don't
None
know.
that I'm aware of.
No one did, right?
The government might have.
So
We
how
should
the
have
fuck did they
standards.
say it was cut with the precision of a laser? How would they be able to say that in the 70s?
If they didn't have lasers. That means
Yeah,
they
like-
did have lasers.
No, in
Well,
the
they had
70s, they didn't
lasers
call it
back
a laser.
then.
They said
Jesus.
it was caused by technology that they didn't have. Those are the words they used.
Okay, and we've had lasers
Other
for way
countries had
freaking longer than we
technology
think.
that
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've had
yeah,
laser
precise.
cutters for a while.
We've
I
had
had a
like
cousin
the
that
metal
worked in-
cutters, and we've had
But one that you can take out into a field?
no.
Kayla,
No.
no, what I'm saying is, though, other cultures did have that technology, just not laser. But they did have knives that could cut with
Right.
that precision.
Yeah.
For example, the Japanese have been cutting paper off a fucking tree for, what,
Thousands
600
of
years?
Yeah.
And without an issue.
Yeah.
It was the Japanese.
Well, and there's also,
They came here and killed them.
It was
They were
the
killing
first
American
attack.
cows.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
there's also the very real possibility
We need to show
that
them
whatever
the sun
was
again.
on that property that was either a beacon or a Stargate or something has been removed, and that's why
taken
it's
to a
on-
different
yeah,
facility.
Yeah.
It's being researched at Area 51 or 52 or 57, whichever one you happen to believe in this week. But
Take your
yeah,
pick. I'm
Yeah,
still
it's
looking
the
for
government
Area
facility.
1. Where the hell's Area 1 at?
Warehouse 13.
If they have
Right?
if they have Area 51, there's got to be like number 1, number 2, number 3.
Yeah.
Like, where's all the ones before this?
Where's Area
Okay,
1?
Why are we talking
Have you
about
guys
these ones?
never seen Warehouse 13?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there's one, it gets full, they bury it, then they move on to the next one.
Why do they bury it? There's like they could totally use that.
No.
Yeah, like all the supplies inside of it. There's a good
So Area
resources.
1 was Atlantis. Come on, people.
Oh.
But the United States wasn't even made then.
No, duh.
So
Anyway, we are down to like last 3 minutes of the show.
Right?
seriously,
That's really quick.
Make sure you go to ReaperApparelCo.com and get your apparel.
Yes, using your coupon code S4 Bunker, you get 10% off with that code. So make sure you pick up your hoodies, hats,
And
bumper
they
stickers,
are-
everything.
All kinds of merchity merch.
They are great hoodies.
Yeah, they are beautiful hoodies. They Kayla owns one, and I am getting mine soon, hopefully. So,
Excellent. And next week we are talking Dracula
We're talking
Vampires.
vampires next week.
and werewolf.
and check out
Blah, blah, blah.
Because they all go together, blah, blah, blah.
blah blah blah.
Okay, just
any-
throwing this out here so that you guys think about this all week, right?
They can't
I'm
be
pretty
sparkly?
sure Nikola Tesla was a vampire.
And did you know in
FYI.
every vampire movie, none of the Draculas have ever said blah blah blah?
That's wrong. Blah, blah, blah.
yeah, that's not true. Over in Pennsylvania, he does.
Oh yeah,
Right?
yeah,
Boom.
but the live action ones.
Huh?
They never say you want to drink your blood. I don't think that's ever happened, has it?
Yeah,
Are you coming back on the show?
Maybe in the silent film.
probably. I don't know.
We'll see how you do tomorrow morning.
That's how he got into character.
Yeah.
All right, guys, and with that, join us every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Thank you for joining us. John, thank you for being here. Hopefully you'll be back next week. We'll see if you wake up on time tomorrow.
Hey, I will. The only reason why I woke up late on Tuesday,
Don't miss the bus.
it wasn't my fault.
Uh-huh.
That's what they all
Don't blame
say.
YouTube.
No, it was aliens.
The aliens did it?
Yes, I blame them.
Okay.
Were you getting probed or what?
No, it
Blah,
was
blah,
Mom's
blah.
weird spaceship alien that had. That
Hey,
always
whoa,
has-
whoa, 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 whoa. This had nothing to do with your grandparents. Okay.
Or your mom.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out. Have a good night.
Good night.
Good night from down under.
Good night, everyone.
Data transfer complete. System malfunction. Please evacuate immediately. Program terminated.
Son of a biscuit eater.